They're gonna disrespect you. I wasn't surprised. Talking about she smelled like onion burgers after 9 years. It feels like he is doing her a favor. That's what happens when you're with a guy who I am Bliss. You're in the land of bliss. Welcome to my channel. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel. If you're looking to upgrade your feminine journey, you're in the right place. What Towanda was doing is she was attempting the power of suggestion. She was attempting the power of suggestion. Oh, I'm so glad that I have a man who provides for me mentally, emotionally, financially. But unfortunately, she's about 9 years too late. Okay. So Pooh, we don't wait 9 years. Okay. If you want to do the power of suggestion, honey, you do it in the beginning. Okay. Because first of all, you go into a relationship with high standards, Pooh. Okay. High standards. Nothing less. Okay. Because if you don't, you will for sure attract a guy who doesn't like you, who doesn't really like you, who doesn't really respect you. Okay. You're not going to be able to do some mind trick to fool him into thinking that he's a provider. Okay. Because you were not that woman when you went into the relationship. And that is so very important. How you show up is important. How you carry yourself is important. Your standards, all of that is important because it says who you are. Okay. If Tesla want $50,000 for their car, but they give it to you free, and then 9 years later they start sending you a car note, you're gonna look at them like they're crazy, right? Because how do you know that he would have got the car for $50,000? How do you know that he didn't only just take the car because it was free? How do you know if it wasn't free that he would have even wanted it? Okay. And so you have to have your high standards up front. Okay. It's so very important. It's so important. Okay. He's not there just so into Towanda. Okay. He's there to harvest from her. You attract harvesters when you have low standards. If he was a provider, you wouldn't have to tell your brother, to tell your sister, to tell your daddy, to have a talk with him and see where he's at and if he's going to propose. Okay? That's what she did. That's what Towanda did. Okay? You wouldn't have to do all that if he was a provider. If he was a provider, he would marry you. Okay? Because a man, just the same way, you're not going to want to sleep with a man continuously and he not be your man. He's not going to want to provide for you continuously and you not be his woman. Okay? It's the same thing. Okay? So, anytime, you have to scrape and beg and borrow and ask your sister for a down payment for the house that he's going to live in, that you both live in, that he's going to live in with you. Honey, no. That's not a man in his masculine energy. Okay, a masculine man would never do that. A masculine man would not feel comfortable living in a house that he didn't pay for. Yeah, he wants her to keep working because he wants his money. Okay, he knows Towanda Braxton, and she has the ability to bring in a lot of money. He is there to harvest. Okay, that's the only thing that a man can do in a relationship with you when he does not value you. It's harvest. It's harvest. That's why when the disrespect came and everybody was saying, "Oh, it was her wedding. I can't believe he said this about talking about she smelled like onion burgers." Honey, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised at all. Because that's what happens when you're with a guy who doesn't really want you. Okay? They're gonna disrespect you. Okay? And he's gonna feel himself. He's going to, because after 9 years, he feels like he is doing her a favor. Okay? That's why he's talking reckless and crazy, because he knows that this means more to her than he even cares about. And he wants her to be very comfortable with this level of treatment. Okay, because she has nothing better coming. He wants her to know this is what it is. That's why when she's looking at him with admiration and reverence, if you pay attention, she's always trying to use the power of suggestion on him. She's always trying to look at him like he's glorious and respectable and amazing and honey, and he shoot her down every time. And he wants her to know that this ain't that. That's why he's so comfortable with doing it. Okay. He wants her to know. Okay. Because he already know that she forfeited her privileges in the beginning, from the beginning. That's why I tell you, ladies, how you have to go into it. Men don't care about wasting your time. Okay. If you're going to give them things free, they're going to stay there and take whatever you're giving them free as long as they can, as long as possible. When they are harvesters, who we don't waste our time, okay? Because when you waste your time, okay, you're sending a message that you don't value yourself. And please do not stay in a relationship because of the time that you've already spent in a relationship, okay? So many women stay because they've already been in a relationship for so long. Don't feel like you have to get married, or don't feel like you have to stay in a relationship because you've already invested so much time. Just leave. You're sticking around to see if things are just going to get better. They're not. They know that you have traded your feminine energy to be with them. Oh, we've been through so many ups and downs. No, you haven't. Most of those ups and downs don't even count. Okay. Most of those ups and downs were him just putting you through it because he doesn't really respect you or the relationship. That's mostly what those ups and downs are. Okay. It's the process of him disrespecting you. Okay. You getting angry at him and him fake apologizing and y'all making up. Okay. And repeat, right? Because it's going to keep happening. Those are not ups and downs. Take it from me. If you don't have an example of how a man should treat you, take it from me. Okay? Take it from me. Take it from me. You know, I'm so grateful that I learned very early what it was and what it wasn't. Okay? When I was a teenager, I figured it out early. Okay? And I always dated men who were into me. Okay? And I always let them be the masculine. Okay? I always stayed in my feminine energy. And I allowed the masculine to serve the feminine. Okay? And I haven't had any problems. Okay? So I was very grateful to have learned that at such an early age and had such a high bar set. Because if you ever have a guy who worships you, who loves you, who takes care of you, you just can't go back. You can't go backwards, okay? If you don't have an example, take my example, okay?